So that's kind of nice. That's sort of the benefits of using this. That's what this prospect thought. So we're happy to bring that example here to you. Kind of going on the third or fourth example in this same rule set is the ability to introduce, well, a calendar control. So we just have a field here for customer request date. What I can do is just launch, a standard calendar application, and whatever date I happen to select on here, maybe I'm ordering these on the 2nd and I'd like them by the 15th. This just kind of allows me to do a couple things. I can send this back to a business system like, BPix or Oracle or Mapix or Sightline, whatever, as the request date in the host business application. The other thing this can allow me to do is to do some date manipulation within my rules that say, if the date is greater than April 14th, 2009, then your pricing is as follows. If your date is less than this date, compare that to the lead time on the item master. This would not be a deliverable by that date, and that could provide some sort of warning. So this kind of has a lot of different values and ways that can be used, but I like using the calendar control here, returning that date back here, and then, being able to massage my rules or navigate my rules based upon the date that's returned. Any questions on that example? That was kind of a big one. The next example I have is just a simple embedding of a video file. This happens to be the same customer, so I don't want to go through a whole lot of this, but I will try and turn the volume up a little bit. You may have some MPEGs or AVIs at your company that you would like to include in the sales process. This is no different than putting a PDF file up here, but there is some work to embed this video. It's very, very little amount of work. I'll turn that down now. So if you have that type of collateral and you want to embed it within your configuration session, the videos are kind of nice. If you have them at your disposal to give people that visual look, right? I mean, we can do something with the PDFs. We've kind of done a lot of that work already. Most of you on the phone are familiar with how to do that. This is not much more involved. You just have to set up the page to embed the video. I think it was, what, 3 lines, Nate? 4 lines? 3 or 4 lines of text to embed the video inside the iframe. So pretty simple example, but if you have that type of collateral available to you, it's kind of a nice thing to be able to do. Right? I leverage all your content in one location, in one place, all through the configuration experience. It works well, and it shows very well for sure. My next example and my last example, there's actually 2 app links in this next one that I want to show, have to do with database table lookups to retrieve values or to do retrieve a singular value and then have it bring back 4 or 5 configuration values through the example. So in this case, what I'm doing is I'm going to query a SQL database table through my application link. So you can see that I have access to a myriad of serial numbers and models, invoice types, invoice numbers, how many days in aging are these invoices, and a dollar amount. So what I can do is, first off, I can filter this list by selecting a base model number, and that will reduce my list down to quite a bit. Now, what I'm going to do is click on the serial number, and it's going to return back 3, 4, 5 different configuration variables in the session. So if you have product attributes, or you have things that are maybe consignment inventory, in this case, that's exactly what this is a floor planning example where manufacturers take inventory, place it on dealers' lots through what they call a floor plan, and that's just a third-party financing operation. If you're familiar with how a car dealership works, it's exactly the car dealer mentality example. So manufacturers are sort of on the hook for, at a minimum, the interest on the loan, but they want to be able to know what's on each dealer's site and then give the dealers, if you're using our channel sales application, the ability to go and search their own inventory or the inventory of their nearest dealers around them, and then see the inventory that's out there. Then all the incentives in this example are based on age, the type of invoice, and the unit that's being sold. So if we just went one step further and included some of this information here, like the trade-in tab and the financing tab and things like that, what I can sort of do is kind of go through this rule set, right? And if I get over to financing, that value from the lookup was brought back as well for the principal loan amount. So now if I go to the trade-in, I might fill this in for a certain type of trade-in information, those types of things. I may want to display a web page over on the right-hand side. So we've kind of looked at movies, we've looked at database lookups, we've looked at unit conversion techniques, all those types of things. I can then actually use an information link, not an application link, to go through and sort of look this up. So now I can kind of go to the Tractor Blue Book site and kind of get some information on the wholesale value, finish out the rest of this configuration set. And then once I have the trade-in value and the wholesale value, I can sort of continue on and then do one more thing where I actually get a payment for this person. So if we go back to the financing tab, I can see that 60 months on $33,000 at 5.9% interest comes out to $647. That's done through an external program call, but it all sort of ties together. At that point, those were all the examples that we wanted to show, things that we've kind of done for our sales organization, and some of our customers are using some of these ideas. We'll open the phone call up for questions, and I'll turn it back over to Jeremy.